Hello again, guys. It's Mad King Corduroy here with another video for you. I know it's been a long time, but I just haven't felt like making anything in a while. And I thought I'd get started again by showing you a typewriter I bought last summer but never made a video on. I got this really cheap, and the guy was also selling a large Underwood Standard, I don't know what kind, but it was beyond my expertise of helping. I got this thing for $2. He originally wanted $5, but I was able to whittle him down a bit because, well, one, the weather was on my side. It was scorching hot that day, and it was an outdoor flea market, and he just didn't want to carry it back. And two, it was really grimy, and it was missing the rate platen knob, which is kind of a big deal if you use typewriters. Trying to use a typewriter without that is a bit of a problem. Now let me get the cover off and I'll show you exactly what it is. It's a 1970s typewriter. I believe it to be from 1970 because it had a sticker on it when I first got it that had that date on it. The cover was made in Italy apparently, according to a label on the inside of the cover, and the typewriter itself, hopefully you can see that, was made in Holland. It's a Remington Streamliner 2, and it is a pretty typical 70s machine in that it is all plastic. It is extremely cheap. It's a very budget typewriter. There are a number of things that annoy me about this besides its very cheap construction. Number one on my list of things I hate about this typewriter is the small keys. These keys do not fit my fingers at all. I don't like them in the slightest. And I tend to miss. They just slip off and go in between the keys and stuff, and it drives me absolutely nuts. Number two on my list of things I hate about this typewriter. Actually, these are both. I'm going to combine these into one. The ribbon cover is very hard to remove, and it is very cheap and flimsy plastic. It's just really garbagey construction. And it uses those proprietary, god-awful typewriter ribbons that Remington seemed to love to stick on all of their typewriters. I had a Remington Noiseless Model 7 from the 40s as my first typewriter, and it had these things on it. And I didn't have the covers, so it did this, where it climbs up and off its spool, and that always drove me absolutely bonkers. And that drives me nuts about this machine, too, because it leaves O's on the inside top of the ribbon cover. Maybe put that back on there. Just snaps in. It's really cheap. Another thing I hate about this typewriter is the lever arm over here for the return of the platen. The fact that it folds down just drives me bonkers. Because when I usually push this over in the side, it's not one straight level motion. I tend to push it kind of down, and it comes in contact with the top of the ribbon cover then and gets stuck a lot of times on the side of the typewriter, which drives me absolutely nuts. Other than that, though, there really isn't a whole lot of complaints about this machine. The action is good. It's a pretty fair typewriter, and if I was stuck on a desert island, I certainly wouldn't mind using it, other than the fact that it's missing the right platen knob. I can't stress how annoying that is. Speaking of the right side, though, we also have the lock to keep... Oop, that's for moving. Oop, if I can engage it correctly. There we go. Okay, now it's locked in there. That is your lock, so that when you're traveling around and moving it, it won't slide around inside the case. Not that there's a whole lot of room to slide around in the case, so I don't know why you would even bother with that. We disengage that. Other than that, though, like I said, other than those things I have complaints about, it's a pretty typical typewriter, and it's really not that bad. Oh, wait, there is two more things I just remembered. The backspace is on this side. Freaking drives me nuts about these Remington machines, because I'm used to it being on this side for the Royals, and I love my Royals, because this is more intuitive. Backspace on this side. No, on a Remington, the margin release is on this side and the backspace is on that side. The other thing about this machine is that they seem to have cut out part of the sprocket here so that you can only set it to 1 and 2 as part of a budget saving or something like that. And Personally, I like to set my typewriters to 1.5, so to have only 1 or 2 is really annoying for me. Other than that, like I said, there really isn't much to say, so let's go ahead and test it out. Grab some paper. Do that. No plate knob. Okay. Put it all the way over and then start typing. You'll notice it is very, very loud because obviously it is a budget portable machine. So luckily the plating is nice and soft though, so as you saw it took the paper no problem. My Royalite has a hard plating, which means that it is very hard to load paper unless you use up to, I think 3 is the perfect number for that typewriter, but we'll go over that machine in detail later. Okay, type test. Oh, that's a good start, isn't it? Test. See, I went to this side for the backspace. Is bad. Did it again. That. Oops. Come on. Now, before I go and show you all of the keys and what the font looks like, I just want to mention that because it is a 70s clamshell portable, the bottom is solid, which means that you can take and put this on your lap and type with it and not have any problems. In fact, I was doing that earlier to test it out after I dug it out of the attic. And it works fine. It's great for that. But personally, I have other machines I like to use more. So yeah, sorry, Remington Streamliner, you're going back in the attic after this review. Anyhow, let's go over here and I'll show you what all of the keys look like. Or not all of the keys, you know what I mean. All of the letters and numbers. Okay. Still no plate knob over there. And when we take that up, you can see exactly what the font looks like. It's a pretty standard font, as you can see, and there's nothing really special about it. The swoops and stuff on the numbers drive me absolutely bonkers about this type of font, because I personally like, you know, more standard looking numbers and letters for everything to be less old-fashioned and more of a modern look. Have everything lined up nice along the page. That's just a personal preference of mine, though. Well, anyhow, so that's the Remington Streamliner 2 from 1970. The Remington Envoy and the Remington Starfire are going to be exactly the same machine, just with different colored plastic body. So yeah, if you want one of these things, I would not advise paying what they have on eBay for one. Do not pay anything near $20 and up. This machine is maybe worth $5 to $8. I wouldn't pay anything more than that. Again, my personal preference. I made King Corduroy And this is Transcendental Airwaves. If you like this sort of thing, keep watching my channel and subscribe to my Facebook, because I will post updates there when I release new things, and also just interesting things I find. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching.